It was a clear afternoon over the Taiwan Strait, April 25, 2002. China Airlines Flight 611, a Boeing 747-200, lifted off from Taipei, bound for Hong Kong. On board were 225 souls, passengers, crew, families heading home, business travelers, and tourists, all expecting a short, uneventful journey. The aircraft climbed smoothly to cruising altitude, 35,000 feet. The crew checked in with air traffic control. Everything seemed normal. But less than 20 minutes later, the calm skies would erupt into chaos, and the giant Boeing would vanish from radar. Controllers tried to reach Flight 611 again and again. No response. Moments later, fishermen and villagers along the coast of Taiwan saw something horrifying. Fireballs streaking down from the sky. Debris rained over the sea, and within seconds, the plane was gone. No one survived. In an instant, 225 lives were lost. And yet the cause wasn't clear. There had been no distress call, no sign of trouble. Investigators would spend months piecing together fragments, both of the aircraft and the mystery behind one of Taiwan's worst air disasters. Search teams soon recovered the black boxes from the seabed. The cockpit voice recorder revealed nothing unusual. No warning alarms, no explosion sounds, no crew panic. Just normal conversation, and then silence. The data recorder, too, ended abruptly. At 3:28 p.m., all readings stopped mid-flight. It was as if the jet had suddenly disintegrated in the air. Investigators turned their attention to the wreckage scattered over 130 kilometers of ocean. Some pieces were found floating, others had sunk deep beneath the waves. But one section, recovered early, part of the rear fuselage, told a disturbing story. Under layers of paint, engineers found signs of corrosion, buckling, and a strange patch of metal, a repair plate. Flight 611, it turned out, had suffered a tail strike more than 22 years ago, back in 1980. During that accident, the aircraft's tail had scraped the runway while landing, causing structural damage to the rear pressure bulkhead, a key component that keeps the cabin pressurized at high altitude. After the incident, mechanics repaired the bulkhead by replacing a damaged section, but their method didn't follow Boeing's proper repair procedure. Instead of replacing the entire damaged panel, they used a smaller patch. It looked fine, but inside, a hidden crack had remained. Over the years, with every pressurization cycle, every takeoff and landing, that crack slowly grew. Decade after decade, unnoticed, it crept through the metal until one day it became deadly. At 35,000 feet, under immense cabin pressure, the weakened bulkhead finally tore apart. The rupture triggered an explosive decompression. In less than a second, the rear section of the aircraft separated from the fuselage. Electrical systems failed instantly. The Boeing broke into several pieces mid-air, far too quickly for the crew to even realize what had happened. Flight 611's final moments were chaotic and mercifully brief. Passengers likely never knew what hit them. The jet disintegrated in seconds, scattering wreckage and lives across the sea. For the families, the loss was devastating. In Taiwan and Hong Kong, grief filled the airports. Hundreds gathered in mourning as investigators promised answers. When the final report came, it confirmed what few had suspected. A 22-year-old improper repair caused a catastrophic structural failure. The tragedy exposed a critical flaw, not in the aircraft's design, but in human maintenance practices. It became a global lesson for every airline and maintenance organization. Even small shortcuts can have deadly consequences decades later. In the years after the disaster, aviation authorities around the world tightened inspection rules for older aircraft. Boeing and others issued service bulletins to check pressure bulkheads for hidden damage. Airlines learned that maintenance records, no matter how old, could save lives. The legacy of Flight 611 remains, both heartbreaking and instructive. A painful reminder that aviation safety is written in lessons learned from tragedy. Today, more than 20 years later, the victims of China Airlines Flight 611 are remembered, not only for the lives lost, but for the changes their story inspired. Because in aviation, every rivet, every repair, every detail matters. And sometimes, history speaks through the silence of a broken sky. This is the story of China Airlines Flight 611, the disaster that began with a forgotten scar and ended in the clouds above the Taiwan Strait.